What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank y'all very much for tuning in. Really appreciate each and every one of you. It's your boy Matty B, and today we're going to do a little post-race review from the Indianapolis Triple Crown that went down last night on an insanely rutted and short track. It made for quite a bit of chaos at the National. We had several lapper incidents and much more, but we had some Cole Davies total domination in the 250 class as he made like a janitor and went for the sweep, while the 450 class saw all kinds of action with moto wins from Roxon and Jacob, the title possibly slipping through the hands of Cooper Webb, wild crashes, battles, and Hunter Lawrence coming out on top for the second time in 3 weeks and extending the points lead. But in today's video, we'll get into all that stuff and much more. But before we do, you guys know the lineup. Got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to the channel sponsors because they're pretty much the reason that we're able to get to all the races and go to all the places that we bring you guys content. So please do me a favor and go check them out. Huge thank you to ASV Inventions, home of the Unbreakable Lever, Sirius Studio, who can take care of all your merch needs, and the DesignLabCo.com. They got some great designs in their lab at their co, and if you need graphics, look no further than there. I have links and discount codes in my video description, and if you guys buy from them, a small portion of the sale goes to me to help keep us going. So if you're supporting them, you are literally supporting me. And also, I'm doing the TV announcing for the GT Arena Cross Series on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2 with Daniel Blair. Here's the airing schedule. Would really appreciate it if you guys would tune in. Not only will entertainment be guaranteed in your contract, but it'll also help me keep my job. But thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoy today's video. Alright, to start off today's video, I've already spewed my thoughts on Triple Crowns a few times this season. We love them, so let's get into some thoughts on the track. Classic Indianapolis Supercross, ruts everywhere, corduroy pants, college frat house. I've used those lines way too many times, but there were lines everywhere. Joey Diaz would have loved that place, but it's always in the contract for Indy to have ruts everywhere. It kind of makes the track layout a little bit less important because the brutal conditions turn it into a total survival invitational. It was a bit of a bold strategy, Cotton, to have a Triple Crown on such a short and rutted track, but now that I think about it, I can't even imagine what the lapper situation would have looked like if they went the full 20+1, so maybe it would have been carnage asada regardless, but the track definitely helped make for a wild night, and the lappers themselves, that's another whole topic that people are getting up into arms about already. We got the Gypsy Gang back on his band, the Privateers, take after last night. The short track definitely made it worse, but when the leaders got to the lappers, it was like they were trying to navigate through downtown Minneapolis nowadays. It was total madness. But back to the track, the whoops started out as skimmers. They stayed skimmers for some of the elite guys like Cole Davies, but for most of the field, they turned into jumpers, which we kind of expected. It was cool to see the rutted conditions open the door for some veteran activity, using some inside lines in the corners and using different rhythms to try to strategize staying out of the ruts, like we saw Eli Tomac doing a little bit. But she was a technical national if I've ever seen one, and needless to say, I was pretty damn stoked to not be on a dirt bike in the stadium in Indianapolis last night. It didn't look like much fun, and I'll tell you what, that one separated the men from the boys. But now to get into the results, starting with the 250 class with a 1-1-1 sweep is the Kiwi Cole Davies, and I think that's what a lot of us were expecting out of this kid this season. I mean, he came out so unbelievable last year as a rookie. We figured he would build upon that in the first 2 rounds. Definitely not quite what Cole was looking for, probably not what we were all expecting, but third time's a charm, better late than never, 1-1-1, pretty much uncontested all night besides a little bit of a fight from Sushi Joe Shimoda, but next level in the whoops, next level on pretty much the entire track. The only thing that he didn't have in his corner was fastest qualifier. I was actually unbelievably amazed that Seth Hamaker kind of had him covered in that department, but when the points were paid, when the money was paid, when it counted, it was all Cole Davies with a 1-1-1. Awesome ride, heading into this 1 week break with some momentum, and then in the second spot with a 2, 2, and a 3, Joe, Sushi, Wasabi, Shimoda. Still just so stoked that we're even getting to see this guy in the series this year after the broken neck. I don't think any of us expected it, but he's back. He's almost in full force. I feel like he's way better of a Joe Shimoda than I expected to see with all this lack of prep, but all that being said, he just didn't quite have the juice to hang with Cole Davies last night. The dude was on another level, but Joe was right there. I mean, he finished pretty close in that second main, and yeah, second fiddle at the National, but still a good night for Joe Shimoda, getting some great points, and he's setting himself up really good to be in this title fight till the end. I think it's a 4-horse race right now. Davies, Shimoda, Hamaker, and Pierce Brown. Even after a bad night from Pierce Brown on the night, but yeah, Sushi's doing all he needs to do to keep himself in this thing. And then rounding out the podium in the 3 spot. Not a good night, but still salvages a spot on the box, which who doesn't love some box, but it's Seth Hamaker, a 3, 9, and a 2. Great riding in the first race to do a little bit of a comeback ride and almost catch up to Davies and Shimoda. The second main, a total disaster, down in the whoops, almost commits first-degree murder on Gavin Towers. Actually, I think he did commit murder on Gavin Towers. Saw a post this morning that Towers, hopefully it'll buff out. Hopefully our guy's going to be okay, but Wild incident, tons of speed out of Hammaker all night long, and fastest qualifier in both sessions earlier in the day. I was just so amazed watching Hammaker land the finish line, take the tight inside flat corner, and he was steering with the rear like Villapoto, just a perfect little drift, nothing crazy, but just enough to where he wasn't breaking enough traction to where he was losing speed. He was just barely drifting enough to get that thing turned on the flat. So fun to watch. Hammaker's corner speed is unbelievable, and that's where he's doing all of his damage compared to Davies, because Davies has that whoop speed. Davies does a lot of that spectacular stuff, but Hammaker's got some great corner speed. But yeah, not a great night, but still to salvage some good points is not the end of the world for Hammaker. And then so close but no cigar for Dax Bennick in the 4 spot, a 4, 4, and a 7. He was looking good to be on the podium heading into that last main event, but bad start. Just couldn't quite get through the pack and fell just short, but still a 4th overall and after a podium at the opener. And I don't even really remember what last weekend was, but I don't think it was too bad. So a good solid start to the season for Bennett, because he's been an opening round killer, but we definitely want to see him hang in there for the duration and keep getting these good results throughout the series. So a good positive step for Dax Bennick. And then rounding out the top 5, a 10, 3, and a 4 after a bit of a disastrous first main event is Pierce Brown. Gonna lose that red plate, but still on a night that definitely wasn't good. I mean, to end up 5th, it definitely could be worse. I mean, we've seen Pierce Brown crash out and have some disastrous results in the past. So, yeah, this could be a championship night if he ends up winning this thing at the end of the season. This will be a night that we look back on and commend him for salvaging the points that he did, but a top 5 for Pierce Brown. And then the thing that I was most excited about in these results, in 6th place, my guy Devin Simonson on the Club MX Yamaha, a 7, 6, and a 6, consistent as crap for a 6th overall. And the 766 is great. The 6th is great. But my guy got out front. He was leading the Supercross last night. His face was on my TV. And this is just so cool, so crazy to me. I mean, I've known Devin for a long time. He spent a lot of time with us at South of the Border back in the day. And I remember this kid spending the summer with us riding like a 2007 CR85 back in like 2014, just because that's all they could afford. The kid spent a summer with us in 2 casts with 2 broken legs, just hanging out. We just go so far back, so to see him find this new level on the Club Yamaha is so sick. The kid's always had the talent, and now it's showing. So great ride to Devin Simonson. I think this is the only the beginning of some more of this stuff that we're going to see out of him. And then in the 7th spot is teammate Cody with a T-Shock, a 6, 5, and a 9. Don't quite have as much to say about Shock as I did Simonson. I didn't quite see as much out of him, or as much of him on TV, I should say, but I think he had a little bit of a better overall finish in his back pocket, but he ended up going down late in that 3rd main, so that'll hurt you. The point situation was insane heading into that last main. There were like 6 or 7 guys that all had a chance at the podium, and Cody was one of them, so that last main hurt him a little bit, but still a 7th overall for Cody Shock, and then an 8th for Jalik Swole, a 9, 7, and a 5, and if you watch the race, it seemed a whole lot more spectacular for Swole than that. I mean, he did rip 2 hole shots, led a lot of laps, but he also had a crash. I think he had a bad start in the first main, and all reports are that Swole only had a handful of days on the bike during the offseason. I guess he injured the Achilles again, so all things considered, coming in with very minimal prep, I feel like this is a solid little result for Swole, and he can get some wind into the sails, build some momentum, and he'll get better as the season goes. And then as we get into the latter part of this top 10, a 9th for Cullen Park, a quiet 8, 8, and a 10. Really good riding for Cullen Park this season, and he's a dude, I don't really know how he's done this, but he's like almost a better pro than he was an amateur as far as results go. You know, as an amateur, he wasn't anything too special. A little bit of a lackluster amateur career for how good he is as a pro, but he's peaking at the right time. He's doing great as a pro. And then this isn't quite as great, though. Rounding out the top 10 with a 5, 11, and an 11. No signs of life for Nate Thrasher. This is not what I expected at all. A lot of reports in the offseason were that he was flying at the test track and everything was going great, but not the first 3 rounds he was looking for, not at all. But the thing about Thrasher is you never know. He can go 10, 10, 10, and then 1. So we got a week off, but stay tuned. I mean, he could win the shootout, and I wouldn't necessarily be that shocked, even after these results. But that was the top 10. Then a few more shout-outs I want to give. An 11th overall for Derek Kelly. Really riding well in the MX-6 Kawasaki this year. You love to see it. And then a 12th for Kyle Peters, Privateer Yamaha at the National. He's going down to the gate with his pops, doing all of his own bike work, and he came from Arena Crash back to Supercross. I believe these are a couple of teammates in 13th and 14th. 13th for Isaiah Clark, 14th for Luke Neese. Great riding from Clark, coming off a GT Arena Cross championship, and then Luke Neese, crazy story for him. I believe he's actually done an AC separation in both shoulders over the last couple of weeks. Still out there grinding, still digging, and still getting a 14th, and then a 15th for PRMX's Liam Aloff. First ever Supercross, got that good smooth track in the C practice, got it straight into the main off at times, and when he got there, he looked like he belonged. He got a 15th, so he was right there in the mix, and then not quite as good for his teammate Luke Clout on the PRMX Kawasaki. I was expecting a lot more out of Clout. He's pretty much a world-class rider in my opinion. He's got the talent, he's got the skill, but I don't know what it is, but something's just not quite coming together right now. And then last guy in the 250 class I want to talk about, a 17th for Caden Dudney. The results are not telling the tale, not even a little bit, because this kid is unbelievable. So much talent, so much potential. The results have got to come sooner or later, but yeah, man, my guy's had a really tough time putting it together, but at the same time, he's 16 years old. I don't even think he was supposed to be racing Supercross yet this year, and they just threw him to the Wolves without choice, so it's not going well just yet, but stay tuned. It will eventually, I promise. But those were the 250s, then some thoughts on the 450s as we get into these results. A first overall for Hunter Lawrence with a 2, a 4, and a 1. And every weekend I say this, but I'm just going to say it again. I still just cannot believe how damn good Hunter Lawrence is this year. I mean, he's the full package. Good starts, good when it's rough, good when it's smooth, good qualifying times. I mean, there's not really anything this guy hasn't done. And besides the little blemish when he went full kamikaze mode on Kenny in Seattle, I mean, the dude hasn't really messed up or made many mistakes. I mean, he did jump into the lapper. He jumped into Cole Thompson last night, which was so sketchy. I cannot believe the guy survived it, but he did what he needed to do, a 2, a 4, and a 1 for the overall win, and he gets 3 more points added to the tally over Eli Tomac. So that'll push that points lead to 4 points, and it really feels like a breakaway now between Hunter Lawrence and Eli Tomac. I feel like it's a 2-horse race for this championship, unless Cooper Webb or one of those guys gets to some crazy momentum and starts going on a run. But Hunter Lawrence with the win, Eli Tomac was second with a 3, 2, and a 2, just barely surviving cross-jump nationals from Vince Friese. I'm sure it was unintentional. There were ruts everywhere, but holy crap, how sketchy was that? Friese kind of needed to move out of the way. He was in the way for a little bit, then he did that cross jump. Almost took down beast mode, but it ended up buffing out luckily. And a smooth, consistent night for Eli, a 3-2-2. He actually, I feel like he came out on the bad end of the lapper situation in those first 2 main events. So that might have been the difference between he and Hunter getting that win. But at the end of the night, I do think Hunter just had a little bit more in the tank than ET, but still. Second overall, he's still right there in the points, and I'm just still stoked that ET's out here racing. I mean, I think we all thought that he was going to be done a couple years ago on the Yamaha, but he's still here, still stoked, switched teams, and still barking. Then a third overall in the night for Cooper Webb. Oh, what could have been. When he got out in front in that first main, I thought it was his time to try to claw back some points and get a win on the board, but it just wasn't in the contract. A 4, a 3, and a 4. He was just off on speed, off in the whoops, just didn't quite have the mustard to get it done last night. And I hate to say this, I mean, Cooper Webb was my title pick, so I'm now telling myself that I was wrong on this one, but I feel like the championship might be out the window now for Cooper Webb. I think the gap is all the way up to 25 points right now, a full race, and anything can happen in Supercross. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying there's no chance, but unless something crazy happens or unless he goes on some wild run of just unbelievable results in riding, then I don't really see Cooper Webb pulling this thing off. Then a fourth overall, signs of life from Justin Cooper. How freaking badass was that ride in Main 2? I mean, Tomac got him. He stalked him for a little bit. And that pass he put around that flat inside corner around Tomac was one of the sickest passes I think I've seen in Supercross. Insane riding from J. Coop. He had that fire in Main 2 for the win, but unfortunately only a couple of 5th places in Mains 1 and 3, so that relegated him down to 4th. Not quite on the box, which you hate to see that after you get a main win and ride that good. You'd love to get a podium trip at the end of the night, but the 450 class is brutal. Those things aren't easy to come by. And then rounding out the top 5, Ken Roxon with a 1, 10, and a 3. Another what could have been for poor kickstart Kenny. He ended up casing so bad in the rhythm section. Not even the best lawyer around could have defended that case. But yeah, cased it, almost came to a stop, and then had a big crash with AP, which you really hate to see that. 2 good guys going down. And I got a report from AP in the group text. Said he's just very banged up, but I think he's going to be okay, and it should buff out. But really good riding from Roxon all night, but that big mistake in Main 2, that put a damper on the overall result. And then a 6th place, 666, and a satanic ride for Jorge Prado. A little bit surprising to see him back. I feel like we all thought that he was going to wait and come back in Birmingham because there's a weekend off next week, but he thrives in these conditions when it's Super Gnarls Barkley, so he wanted to go ahead and just come back, go balls deep, and send it. And very impressive to just go 666 right off a shoulder injury, right back about where he was before. And then finishing up some thoughts in the 450 class, a very quiet 7th for Malcolm Stewart with a 977. Never saw him on TV, didn't hear from him, nothing like that, but he didn't get landed on like he did in Anaheim 1, so I'd say that's a positive. Then another eighth, silent but deadly, just like a fart. Christian Craig, a 10, 8, and a 10. It's really tough in these Triple Crowns. You don't really see much besides what's going on out front because every race is a main, so you're trying to focus on what's going on for the overall win and stuff like that. But a quiet, really good ride for Christian Craig. And then so bummed for his teammate Joey Savatgy, ninth overall with a 7.5 and a 19. They showed him very gingerly hobbling off the track after a crash by the mechanics area. And I hate to say it, I say these three letters all the time, but it kind of looked like an ACL or something of that nature. So here's to hoping that I'm wrong, and here's to hoping that Joey's okay, because he's been having an unbelievable season this year. Underrated Ripper of the Year. He finally got some Honda parts and got a factory transmission. So really hope he's okay and can get back after it. But solid 10th overall to round up the top 10 for Shane McElrath, a 12, 11, and a 9. And really solid effort for the Quad Lock Honda team. Even with Joey going out of that last main, they got all three guys in the top 10 at 8, and 9, and a 10. Solid work from that effort. And then the last two guys on the list, 13th place for Vince Friese and 18th place for Kevin Moranz. I'm not here to hate on lappers. I was a lapper. Being a lapper is way harder than you guys think, I promise, but those were the main culprits I feel like that had some effects on the race. I talked a little bit already about Vince Friese with the cross jump on Eli Tomac, and then Kevin Moranz was a big factor in that first main event, just not quite moving out of the way, and that caused Hunter Lawrence to make the pass on Eli Tomac. Maybe it would have happened anyway, maybe it wouldn't have, but you do kind of hate to see lappers play a part in the race like that, but at the same time, lappers are kind of part of the race, especially on such a short track. I mean, there was kind of no way of getting around it whenever there's a 45-second lap time and ruts everywhere. It's super technical. So just all that, I feel like, was the perfect storm for the lappers to be a lot worse last night. The only bummer for these two guys is I feel like they are a little bit of repeat offenders. I feel like you hear a lot about Friese and Moranz not being the best lappers, but at the same time, I mean, I got respect for what those guys are doing. They're out there digging. I mean, Friese did get a 13th in the 450 class, and main event Moranz called an 18th. I mean, every spot counts for these guys. They're out there trying to make a living and trying to do the damn thing. But yeah, the lappers were a brutal part of the National last night. I don't really know if I have a good fix for it besides really staying on these guys and giving them some license penalty points. I know Friese's already got some, so maybe he'll get some more. I don't really know, but yeah, definitely a sketchy situation. You kind of hate to see it, but at the same time, it's all part of racing. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today's video, Indianapolis Supercross review. And as always, please, guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, if you liked it, if you hated it, if you agree with my takes, if you disagree, what you thought of the racing, what you think of lappers at the National, and everything in between. Even if I'm a cooked unit, just let me know. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. No choice.